Hello everyone, I'm making beef short ribs today. I started trying to do this, record this just a little while ago, and I was getting a strange shot. So I've started over again. Here we go. Beef short ribs. I only bought 2 pounds of beef short ribs. The recipe called for 4 pounds, but it's just Wayne and me, so I am improvising. These are garlics. I got 4 or 5 little pieces of garlic. Dwayne and I grow these ourselves, and they're just so easy to keep in the refrigerator and get out whenever you need them. These are the onions I've already cut up. It's just 1 small onion there. This is bacon that I'm getting ready to brown, and then I'll take the bacon bits out and put them in and keep the bacon juice for browning the onions and the garlic. And I have improvised a little sack here to dust my little pieces of beef short ribs with flour, salt, and pepper. And like Rachel Ray does on her show, I have put everything that I want to discard into this bucket. I'll tell you what that is. I don't know if you can see what's in there. It looks like you can. It is wonderful. Just toss everything, cans and everything in there, and then you can take it out and throw it away later. Anyway, I will get started on the bacon. Just for grins, I thought I would show you some of the cookbooks that I regularly use. This is one of my favorite ones. I Hear America Cooking. It tells the history of where food came from. I just love that. And this little book right here is called A Jug of Wine. I don't know if you can't really see it. It's a very old book. Dwayne looked it up one day, and now the hardcover costs about $75. I am sure glad we found this one in a flea market. I know we didn't pay that for it. And I was describing the garlic earlier. This is some of the garlic that we grow. See what it looks like? It's so neat. That's what it looks like when you just dig it right up out of the ground. And we can just take those apart and hammer them open just like Rachel Ray does with a knife. Just whack it real good and they'll come right out. Well, my bacon has cooked and I have put it in a kind of a deep dish Corningware. Does that bring back memories or what? Anyway, and here's the bacon grease. It's still hot, and I'm going to add, no, don't I look like the great cook here, add the onion. Yay! And I'm going to let that cook just a little bit until it gets brown and sort of limp. I'm not going to worry about it getting just brown, just sort of, what do they call it, a yellow color sort of. And when that's done, I'm going to be adding some garlic and take it out, and then I will put the beef in and let it brown. Okay, I've taken my onion out of the hot grease, and now I'm getting ready to put the meat in the hot grease. Let's see if I can do this, hold the camera at the same time. Listen to that sizzle. Yummy. This is the first time I've ever made this, so this ought to be interesting. It cooks a very long time. You're supposed to cook it for 2 hours in the oven once you get it all put into the pan. And this onion, in a little bit, I'm going to be putting it back in the pan once the meat's braised. And I'm going to add the flour to it, some flour, and make a kind of a roux, and that'll be poured over the top of the meat. And all of this is going to go into the oven. Some recipes I've seen call for potatoes and carrots and stuff like that you can put in kind of like a stew almost. But the recipe I'm using doesn't call for that, and this is just the one I picked. We'll see how it comes out. Maybe next time I'll make it with potatoes and carrots and stuff. And at the end we're going to be adding some, as you can see, the beef is about done. It's supposed to be really brown on all sides, which is what I have tried to do. So anyway, I'm going to remove them, just as an example, and put them in the pot or the Corningware dish on top of the bacon. And when I'm through doing this, I'm going to put the onions back in the skillet and I'm supposed to add a little bit of flour to the onions and kind of turn it into a roux. But I'll turn this camera off. And okay, what I did was I scraped up the little bits of the beef that were on the bottom of the skillet. See there? I added a little bit of beef broth to help me scrape up the bottom of the beef that stuck to the pan. Now I'm adding the onions back, most of them anyway, and I'm going to be stirring them up just to get them warm again. And in a second I'll be adding some flour to that to make a roux. And on top of the flour, once it kind of clumps up there, I'll be adding the beef broth and some red wine. It called for sherry, but the sherry I have is really old and I don't trust it. I should have gotten some more, but I forgot. This is called Red Guitar. The chef says that you're supposed to use a wine that you would drink, something you really like, not the bottom of the barrel kind of stuff. So pick some. Okay, the onions look like they've about heated up enough. I've already caramelized them the first time, so I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of flour. That's what it called for, more than that, but I'm not making a full recipe, so I'm going to kind of improvise and hope that it works really, really good. Okay, and to this I'm going to add the red wine that I showed you earlier. Let that stir up a little bit. God, that smells good. Okay, and then I'm going to add my beef broth. You can get it in a can, or you can make your own. I'm not going to add this whole thing because I'm going to see how well that does before I finish it up, because all of this is going to get poured over the top of that beef. And then it's going to cook for about 2 hours in a 350-degree oven. It's just supposed to cook real slow. I think probably I added just exactly enough beef broth. And you're supposed to put it over this. But first I'm going to, see that thyme leaf? I don't have any fresh. I wish I did. Sprinkle a little bit of thyme leaf over the top of the beef. I like thyme. And then you're supposed to put a bay leaf in there. And then on top of that, you just pour over this gravy-like stuff. Oh God, it still smells so good. And then I'm going to slide this into the oven and cook it at 350 degrees for 2 hours. When it's done, I'll pull it out and... Well, as you can see, I have cooked this at 350 degrees for approximately 60 minutes. And I'm going to be taking it out of the oven. There it is. And we need to make sure that it's ready to go. Oops, fogged up my camera. Look at there. Ooh, it's tender as fork tender. That's what it's supposed to look like. And this gravy here, I'm going to turn off the oven because it's obviously done. 6:03, perfect. Wayne will be home any minute. And what I will do is I will pour that good looking gravy over these potatoes. And we'll have green beans for our greens. And we call that dinner.